The council hall on the planet Varlus was large and bright, filled with colors and strange shapes. The air smelled a little sweet, mixed with something sharp. All around the big round table, delegates from different alien worlds waited for the meeting to start. Each delegate wore special clothes from their own world. Some had scales or feathers, some had soft fur, and some looked almost like statues made of stone. All of them came for an important reason: to decide if humans should join the Galactic Council. At the edge of the table, Clara sat with her hands folded neatly. She was the main human representative. Her brown hair was tied back and her eyes looked around the room with quiet interest. Sitting next to her was Ryan, her science officer. Ryan was younger, and he was busy looking at his tablet, writing notes about everything he saw. A soft bell sounded. The leader of the council, Eldrin, stood up. Eldrin was tall and thin, with silver skin and eyes that glowed softly. When he spoke, his voice echoed in the big room. "We welcome the humans," Eldrin said. "Earth has asked to join our alliance. Before we decide, we wish to show our strengths. It is a tradition for new members to see the special powers of the council." Clara nodded politely. "Thank you, Eldrin." "We are honored to be here." Eldrin gave a small smile. He turned to the others and raised a thin arm. "Let us begin the test of venom resistance," he said. It is an old challenge. On this world, the venom of the Sylphus spider is deadly to most. Only those with strong bodies can survive it. In our council, all members can withstand the venom. A small, clear box was brought out by 2 council guards. Inside, a strange spider with blue and green stripes moved slowly. Its eyes shone like black beads, and its legs clicked against the glass. The box was placed in the middle of the table. The first to step forward was the delegate from the world of Kaloa, named Bryn. Bryn's skin was smooth and purple, and her eyes blinked sideways. Without a word, she rolled up her sleeve. A guard took the spider out and let it walk across Bryn's arm. The spider bit her. Bryn did not even flinch. After a moment, she smiled and nodded to the room. "Very good. Bryn?" Eldrin said. Next, a large, furry creature named Gar took his turn. He laughed, showing big white teeth. The spider bit his finger. He waved his hand, looking proud. Each alien took a turn. Some laughed, others made jokes. Some spoke about how their ancestors learned to survive deadly poisons. One delegate, who looked like he was made of dark stone, said, "On my world, the rivers are full of poison. We drink from them as children to become strong." As the test went on, many council members glanced at Clara and Ryan. Some expected to see fear or at least shock on their faces. But Clara sat calmly, watching every detail. Ryan was even smiling a little, writing notes quickly. Finally, the test reached the last delegate. Eldrin stood up again. He turned to Clara and spoke kindly. "Human delegate, would you care to try the venom challenge? Of course you may refuse. The Sylphus spider's venom can kill a normal being in seconds. We understand if humans do not wish to risk it." A few council members laughed softly, expecting Clara to say no. Clara looked at Ryan. Ryan shrugged and whispered, "It's a very interesting test. I would like to know what is in the venom." Clara smiled. She looked at Eldrin and answered, "Thank you for the offer. I do not need to take the test, but I would like to know more about the venom. May I see the spider and learn how you became resistant to it?" The room went quiet for a moment. The council members looked at each other, surprised that Clara did not seem afraid. Eldrin nodded, and the spider was placed in a small clear dish in front of Clara. Clara leaned forward, studying the spider. Ryan quickly took out a scanner and started to measure the creature's body and the air around it. He spoke softly. "On Earth we have many venomous creatures. Some people are bitten every year. Some even use venom in science." Eldrin's eyes widened. "You use venom in science?" Ryan nodded. "Yes, we use it to make medicine. Some venoms can be changed into cures for sickness or pain. Sometimes we make anti-venom to save lives." A tall delegate with bright blue skin asked, "You are not afraid of venom?" Clara shook her head. "We respect it. We are careful. But we also learn from it. Many of our scientists study snakes and spiders. On Earth, we have snakes called vipers and cobras. Their venom is dangerous, but we use it to help people. The council members started to whisper among themselves. Some looked amazed. Others seemed to doubt what Clara and Ryan were saying. Eldrin raised his hand to calm everyone. Humans use venom as medicine? That is a new idea for us. Here, venom is always a sign of danger or power. Ryan smiled. On Earth, sometimes the most dangerous things can also help us. We use small amounts to learn, to cure, and to protect. Clara nodded. We do not need to take the test to show courage. Humans show courage by learning from danger and helping others. The council members thought about this. For many years, the venom test had been a way to prove strength. Now the humans had shown another kind of strength, the courage to learn. Even from something deadly. Eldr and sat down and looked at the other council members. Perhaps there is more to humans than we knew. We will continue our meeting tomorrow. Tonight, let us think about what we have learned. Clara and Ryan stood up and thanked Eldrin. As they left the hall, Ryan whispered, "Do you think they believe us?" Clara smiled. "They are curious now." That is a good start. In the hallway, the council guards talked quietly about the humans. Some said they were foolish. Others said they might be brave in a different way. Clara and Ryan walked back to their rooms, talking about all they had seen. Ryan wanted to study the venom, maybe even ask for a sample. Clara thought about the next day. She wondered what other challenges the council would show them. She also wondered if the council was ready to see just how much humans could do when faced with something. The night on Varlus was quiet. The sky was deep blue, with 2 moons shining above the city. Lights from the council building glowed in the darkness. Somewhere inside, Eldrin and the other leaders talked about the humans and their strange ideas. In their rooms, Clara and Ryan, prepared for whatever would come next, ready to show the council the many ways humans could surprise them. The next morning on the planet Varlus, the city woke slowly under the light of its 2 moons. The council hall was filled with gentle sound as delegates from many worlds came together once again. Every seat was filled. There was a feeling of excitement and curiosity in the air. Everyone was still talking about what the humans said the night before. They all wanted to hear more. Clara stood at the window of her guest room, looking at the blue and silver sky. Ryan was at the table, drinking his tea and checking his notes from yesterday. He was reading about the venom of the Sylphus spider and how the aliens used the test to show their power. They really believe that showing they can survive poison makes them strong, Ryan said quietly. It is not so different from what some people used to think on Earth in the old days. Some groups would walk across fire or eat dangerous things to prove they were brave. Clara nodded. Maybe every world has its own way to test courage, but I think we surprised them. They didn't expect us to say we use venom for medicine, Ryan smiled. They looked so surprised. I hope they don't think we were just making it up. Clara shook her head. We were honest. Maybe today we can show them more. There was a gentle knock at the door. When Clara opened it, a young council assistant stood there with a message from Eldrin. The council asks that you and your science officer join them early in the hall. The assistant said politely. Clara thanked the assistant, and soon she and Ryan walked through the bright halls of the council building. As they passed other aliens, they felt eyes following them. Some delegates nodded politely, while others seemed more interested than before. When they reached the council hall, Eldrin and a small group of leaders were waiting. The Sylphus spider in its clear box was on the table again, along with several other samples of different local poisons. Eldrin greeted them with a gentle smile. Good morning, Clara. Good morning, Ryan, Eldrin said. Last night, many members asked questions about what you said. We wish to know more about how humans use venom as medicine. Would you explain it to us? Clara and Ryan glanced at each other. Clara spoke first. Of course, we will tell you what we know. Eldrin led them to the center of the hall. Other council members began to arrive and took their seats, their eyes full of interest. The room was very quiet as everyone listened. Ryan took a deep breath. On Earth, many creatures have venom: snakes, spiders, even some fish. For thousands of years, people feared venom. But after a while, scientists learned to study it. We learned that venom is made of many small chemicals. Some are dangerous, but some can help heal. He reached into his bag and took out a small tablet. On the screen, he showed pictures of different snakes and spiders from Earth. Some were brightly colored, some were dull and hard to see. He explained how people used to be afraid of these animals, but now scientists work with them. Many years ago, people learned to make anti-venom, Ryan continued. This is a special medicine. If someone is bitten by a snake, doctors give them anti-venom. It fights the poison inside the body and saves lives. We make anti-venom by using very small amounts of the real venom and teaching the body how to fight it. A council member with a long neck and yellow eyes leaned forward. You give poison to fight poison? Ryan nodded. Yes, but only a little bit and only after careful study. It is very safe when doctors do it. Clara added, some scientists even found ways to use venom to help people with heart problems or pain. There are medicines made from tiny parts of venom that help people live longer and feel better. A furry delegate asked, do you ever use these things for yourself? Ryan smiled. No, only for medicine. We never take venom just to prove we are strong. We believe it is better to use knowledge and care. Eldrin listened carefully. He turned to the other council members and spoke, this is new for us. On Varlus, we never thought to use our dangers to help others. We only saw venom as a threat. One delegate, who looked like a blue lizard, said, if you do not take the venom test, how do you prove you are strong? Clara thought for a moment. We have many ways. Sometimes we climb mountains, swim in icy water, or help others in danger. But we believe true strength comes from helping and healing, not just surviving pain. There was silence in the hall as the council members thought about this. Some looked uncertain. Others seemed impressed. Ryan carefully looked at the sylphus spider and asked, would it be possible to take a very small sample of the venom? I would like to study it. Maybe we could learn something new together. Eldrin looked surprised, but nodded. We can arrange for a safe sample. If you find a way to use it for healing, it would be a great gift. Other council members started to whisper again. Some talked about their own world's poisons and wondered if humans could help turn them into medicines too. Suddenly, the council chamber doors opened. A group of reporters and news recorders came in, their cameras floating quietly in the air. Eldrin raised his hand and spoke to the room. Today, the humans have shown us a new way to see danger. Perhaps the old traditions can change. Clara stood a little straighter, feeling the weight of many eyes on her. Ryan was excited and nervous. At the same time, he looked at Clara and whispered, we might really be able to help them. The council meeting went on. Delegates asked more questions about how antivenoms are made and if humans had ever found a way to cure sicknesses with other dangerous things. Clara and Ryan answered as best they could, telling stories of Earth's doctors and scientists who worked with dangerous plants and animals to save lives. Later, after the meeting, Eldrin invited Clara and Ryan to his office. He was quiet and thoughtful. You have given us much to consider, he said. Maybe one day our worlds can work together to make new cures for all people, Clara thanked him. We would like that very much. We believe sharing knowledge is the best way to build peace. That evening, as the sun set over Varlus, the city was full of quiet talk. The story of the humans and their strange ideas about venom spread quickly. Some called them foolish, but others called them brave and wise. In their rooms, Clara and Ryan talked about everything that happened. Ryan worked late, writing down his thoughts and making plans to study the venom. Clara looked out at the city lights, feeling hopeful. She wondered what the next day would bring, and if the council was truly ready for the kind of change that humans could offer. The next day, the council hall felt different. The bright lights were a little softer and the voices were quieter. Some delegates arrived early, looking curious. There was a feeling that something new might happen today. Clara and Ryan entered together. Ryan carried his science bag, and Clara walked with calm steps, Greeting those she passed. As they reached their seats, Bryn, the purple-skinned delegate from Kaloa, came over. She smiled and said, "You humans are very strange. Last night I searched for stories about Earth. There are so many stories of humans surviving strange things. How do you do it?" Clara laughed softly. "Thank you, Bryn. I think humans have always tried to learn from everything. Sometimes it helps us and sometimes it brings trouble. But we always try," Ryan nodded. "We have made many mistakes, but we try to use our knowledge to help others." More delegates gathered around. Some of them had questions about how humans turn danger into medicine. One asked about the first time people on Earth used venom to save a life. Another asked if humans had ever made mistakes with poisons. Clara told a story about a long time ago, when doctors first tried to make anti-venom from snake bites. She explained how they had to learn which parts were safe and which were not. Some people got sick at first, but with care and study, they made the medicine safer. Ryan added, "Now, before we use anything dangerous, we test it again and again. We want to make sure it helps and does not harm." A tall delegate with golden feathers said, "On my world, we avoid all poisons. Even a small mistake can kill. Your way is risky." Clara nodded. "You are right. It is risky. That's why we are so careful. We work together, doctors, scientists, and many others, to keep each other safe." The room started to fill up. Eldrin, the council leader, came in and called for silence. "Today, we will listen to the humans as they share their knowledge about turning danger into help. After, we will have our own discussion." Clara stood at the front of the room. She spoke in a clear voice. "Thank you for letting us share. On Earth, we do not fear venom, but we do not treat it lightly. Many people have worked for years to understand it. Because of their hard work, we can save lives with medicines made from things that once only hurt people." Ryan took out a small device from his bag. He explained, "We use machines to study poisons. We break them down into small parts. Some parts can help people. Some parts must be removed. It takes a long time to learn which is which." Eldrin listened carefully. He asked, "Have you ever used venom to help someone right away?" Ryan said, "Yes, in some places on Earth, snakes are common. Sometimes a person is bitten. If they get the right anti-venom quickly, they can be saved. The anti-venom comes from the same type of snake, but it is changed to be safe for people." Bryn looked amazed. "So you use the thing that almost kills you to heal?" Clara smiled. "Yes, sometimes the answer is hidden inside the problem. That is how humans think." Another delegate, who looked like a tall insect, asked, "Do all humans agree with this idea?" Clara shook her head. "No, some are afraid. Some think it is too dangerous, but we keep studying. Every year we learn more." The council members talked quietly among themselves. Many of them were surprised. Some still seemed unsure. Suddenly, a new delegate stood up. She was from a planet where poison plants grew everywhere. Her name was Lyra. "On my world, we never thought to use our plants for good. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe we missed something important." Ryan said, "If you let us, we could help you study your plants. Maybe you could find new cures for sickness." Lyra nodded. "I would like that." Eldrin looked around the room. "Today, we see that humans have another kind of strength. They do not only survive danger, they change it into hope. Perhaps that is why they have come so far, even from such a distant world." The meeting paused for a short break. Delegates left their seats to talk in small groups. Some came to Clara and Ryan asking more questions. Others looked at the sylphus spider in its glass box and wondered what secrets it might hold. During the break, Ryan sat at the edge of the hall and wrote notes. He thought about how the council saw the world so differently. He felt a little nervous but also excited. Maybe this was how change began, one small idea at a time. Clara joined him, holding 2 small cups of warm fruit drink from the refreshment table. She handed one to Ryan. "They are starting to see things differently," she said softly. Ryan nodded. "Do you think they will let us try to make medicine from the sylphus spider?" "I hope so," Clara replied. "It would show them what we can do together." Soon the meeting started again. Eldrin asked the council, "Should we let the humans try to make medicine from our venom?" There was silence, then Lyra spoke. I support this idea. Bryn nodded. I do too. One by one, more delegates agreed. Some were still unsure, but most were now curious. Eldrin turned to Clara and Ryan. We will give you a small amount of Sylphus spider venom. You may study it, but only with our scientists watching. If you can find a way to use it for good, you will have proven something important to the Council. Clara thanked him. We will do our best. We promise to be careful. Later that day, Ryan and two alien scientists received a tiny vial of the venom. They worked together in a safe laboratory, using both human and alien tools. Ryan explained every step. The alien scientists watched closely and asked many questions. As the hours passed, the group found that the venom had strange chemicals that might help stop pain. Ryan explained how Earth scientists had found the same thing in snake venom. Clara visited the lab and watched as Ryan and the others shared ideas. She felt proud of what they were doing. She knew this was only the beginning. That night, as the stars shone over Varlus, the news spread quickly. The humans were trying to turn danger into medicine. Some people were afraid, others were hopeful, but everyone agreed that things were changing. In their room, Clara and Ryan talked about the day. We have come a long way already, Ryan said. Yes. Clara agreed. Maybe tomorrow we will go even further. They both hoped that their work would help not only humans, but all the worlds of the Council. The sun rose slowly on Varlus, and the sky turned a soft purple. Clara woke up early and looked outside her window. She saw the Council building in the distance, its tall spires shining in the morning light. Today felt important, and she hoped. The work she and Ryan started would help everyone in the Council. Ryan was already awake. Sitting at a small table in their room, he was looking at new reports from the laboratory. On his screen, he saw the first results from the study of the Sylphus spider venom. The alien scientists had sent messages in the night full of questions and ideas. Ryan smiled as he read them. Clara walked over and sat beside him. Did they find anything? She asked. Ryan nodded. They think the venom has something inside. That can stop pain. It is different from Earth snake venom, but it might work the same way. The scientists are very excited. They want us to help test it safely. Clara felt a wave of hope. Maybe this will show everyone what humans can do. If we help them find new medicine, they will see we are not weak or foolish. Ryan agreed. I think today will be a good day. Soon they dressed and left for the council hall. As they walked through the wide halls, some aliens stopped to talk to them. One was a small, green-skinned woman from a cold world. She asked, "Is it true you made a cure from the spider's poison?" Clara smiled. "We have not made a cure yet, but we found something that can help stop pain. We must test it more, but it is a good start." The woman's eyes widened. "I hope you find something. My people have always feared our planet's poisons. Maybe now we can learn to use them." They reached the laboratory where the two alien scientists, Mara and Joss, were waiting. Mara was tall with blue skin and long fingers. Joss was short and had smooth gray fur. Both looked tired but happy. "Welcome, Clara and Ryan," Mara said. "We stayed up all night looking at the venom. It is very complex. There are many parts. But we found a part that is not dangerous in small amounts. When we tested it, it blocked pain signals in our test cells." Joss added, "This could be a big change for our medicine. We do not have anything like this." Ryan set down his bag and opened his own notes. "On Earth, we found something similar in snake venom. We call it a pain blocker. We use it for people who are hurt and cannot use normal medicine. Maybe your venom will work too." Together, they began another round of tests. The laboratory was busy, with machines whirring and lights blinking. Clara watched as Ryan explained every step. He showed Mara and Joss how to measure the right amount of venom and how to make it safe. They tested the blocker on small samples and wrote down the results. Soon, Bryn and Lyra from the council arrived to watch. Lyra, the delegate from the poison plant world, looked very interested. "If this works," she said, "maybe we can find the same thing in my world's plants." Ryan nodded. "We would be happy to help you look. Sometimes a cure is hidden in the most dangerous places." The first round of tests was a success. The pain blocker worked in the lab samples and did not harm the cells. Mara turned to Clara. You were right. Sometimes danger hides a gift. If we learn to use it, we can help many people. Joss smiled. I never thought I would say this, but maybe our old ways need to change. Bryn, who was always bold, said, We must tell the council. They should know what humans and aliens can do together, Clara agreed. This work belongs to everyone. If we share what we find, more worlds might find their own cures. Lyra nodded. I want my world to join this work. I think there are more secrets in our plants. Will you help us? Ryan looked at Clara, and she nodded. Yes, we will help. After the testing, the group walked back to the council hall together. The halls were filled with talk. News of the lab tests was spreading quickly. Some delegates looked hopeful. Others looked nervous, worried about the change this new work could bring. Inside the council chamber, Eldrin was waiting. The leaders had gathered for a special meeting. The room was quiet as Mara stepped forward and shared the news. We tested. The human idea? Mara said. The Sylphus spider venom contains something that blocks pain. It can be made safe. This could be new medicine for our worlds. The humans helped us find it. There was a long silence. Eldrin looked at Clara and Ryan. This is something we have never seen before. Our traditions taught us to fear venom and pain. The humans have shown us another way. Some of the older delegates looked unhappy. One spoke up. We cannot forget our old lessons. Danger is danger. If we change, what if we make mistakes? Clara stood and spoke gently. On Earth we made mistakes too. We learn from them. We do not forget the dangers. We just try to find hope in hard places. Lyra stood beside Clara. My world is full of poison plants. I am afraid of them too, but maybe it is time to look again. If we do not try, we will never know what is possible. Bryn nodded. I trust the humans. They do not rush into danger. They study and they learn. Eldrin looked at the council members. Should we continue this work? Should we let humans help us search for more cures? The vote was close, but most agreed. They would let Clara and Ryan work with scientists from other worlds to study their poisons and plants. Eldrin said, We will do this together. We will be careful. But we will not let fear stop us. That night, as the two moons rose, Clara and Ryan returned to their rooms. Ryan was full of ideas and plans. Clara felt tired but happy. She looked up at the moons and wondered how many worlds might change because of what they started. Ryan sat down at the table and wrote in his journal. He wrote about how sometimes courage is not about fighting or taking pain, but about looking for good in something everyone else fears. He hoped their work would help many people in the future. Clara watched the city lights and thought about her family on Earth. She wished they could see what was happening. She knew she would tell them everything one day, and she hoped they would. Be proud. As the city went to sleep, the council leaders met in secret, talking about the future. Some were afraid, but most were curious and full of hope. The humans had brought something new to Varlas, a belief that danger can sometimes be turned into help. It was just the beginning of something big. The days passed quickly on Varlas. Word spread fast through the city and soon to other worlds in the Alliance. People were talking everywhere about the humans and their strange idea turning danger into medicine. Clara and Ryan worked hard in the laboratory every day. Mara, Joss, Bryn, and Lyra joined them, and sometimes new scientists from other worlds visited to watch or help. In the mornings, Clara read reports and checked messages from Earth. Ryan looked through books and notes from alien scientists. There were always new questions to answer. Sometimes the questions were hard, but Clara liked solving puzzles. She knew Ryan did too. One morning, as the group worked on another test with the Sylphus spider venom, Lyra came in carrying a small plant from her homeworld. The plant had purple leaves and long, thin roots. Lyra explained, On my planet, people fear this plant. Its roots can make people sick, but some old stories say it once helped heal wounds. Ryan was excited. Maybe there is something good inside it, like with the spider venom. Let's test it in the lab. Mara and Joss helped set up the test. They crushed a small piece of the root and mixed it with water. They used a scanner to check the chemicals inside. It took a while, but soon the results came on the screen. Joss pointed, "There is something here that fights infection. If we can make it safe, this could help people heal." Lara smiled for the first time. "My people will be happy to hear this. Maybe the old stories were true after all." The scientists wrote their findings and sent a report to Eldrin and the council. Eldrin visited the laboratory later that day. He looked at the samples and listened to the team explain their work. He seemed pleased and thoughtful. "You have all done something special," Eldrin said. "You have made the council look at our world with new eyes. I hope other planets will try the same." As days went by, more samples arrived from different worlds. A scientist from a world covered in ice sent a flower that could survive freezing cold. Another delegate shared a tiny shell from a sea creature that made a natural painkiller. The laboratory turned into a place of hope and excitement. Each new discovery made the team want to learn more. Some people in the city were still worried about the changes. Old beliefs were hard to forget. There were quiet voices in the council, saying it was dangerous to trust the humans so quickly. Others said the work was moving too fast. Clara tried to listen and understand their fears. She remembered stories from Earth about people who were afraid of new things. She knew it took time to change minds. One afternoon, Bryn took Clara aside. As they walked in the garden outside the laboratory, the garden was full of strange flowers and tall blue grass. The air was warm and smelled sweet. "Some of the council members are still afraid," Bryn said quietly. "They think if we use poisons as medicine, we might forget they are dangerous," Clara nodded. "It is good to be careful. On Earth, we always remember that medicine can hurt if we use too much or use it wrong. That's why we test and never stop learning. We want to save lives, not take risks," Bryn smiled. "You are patient. Maybe that is another kind of strength." The next day was a special meeting of the full council. The room was full, with every delegate present and even more watching on screens. Eldrin called the meeting to order. He asked Clara and Ryan to stand in the center of the room with their team. Eldrin spoke to everyone. "These scientists have worked together and found new hope where there was only fear before. The sylphus spider venom may become a safe pain medicine. Lara's plant root could heal wounds. Other worlds have shared more secrets. All of this happened because humans taught us to look for hope in dangerous places. Today we decide what to do next." Clara stepped forward. She spoke slowly so everyone could understand. "We do not ask you to forget your old ways. Danger is real and we must respect it. But if we work together, we can find hope where we did not see it before. Let us keep learning and share what we find so everyone in the council can be safer and healthier." One of the older delegates who had worried before stood up. He was a quiet man from a world covered in forests. "I was afraid at first," he said. "But I see now that learning is another kind of courage. I support the work." More delegates spoke, some sharing their own stories of fear and hope. The vote was taken. Almost everyone agreed. The work would go on, and scientists from all worlds would join. Clara felt relief and pride at the same time. Ryan smiled at her, happy and excited. After the meeting, there was a celebration in the Great Hall. Food and drink from many worlds were shared. People laughed and talked about the future. Some told stories of old fears and how they might find new hope. Others just enjoyed the new friendships that had formed later as the celebration grew quiet. Eldrin came to Clara and Ryan. He thanked them for their courage and patience. "You have changed us," he said simply. "Not just in the council, but in our hearts," Clara thanked him. "We are all learning together. That is the best way." Ryan added, "We hope Earth and the other worlds will always work as friends." As the stars came out and the two moons rose high, Clara and Ryan walked back to their rooms. They felt tired but peaceful. Ryan looked up at the sky and said, "We did something important here." Clara agreed, "And there is still so much to do." She thought about all the new questions waiting to be answered. She knew there would be hard days ahead, but tonight she felt proud of what they had done. the story of the humans and their strange courage would travel far to worlds they had never seen. And maybe on some faraway planet, another person would look at something dangerous and ask, "Can this help someone?" That, Clara thought, would be the real victory. Weeks passed on Varlus, and the work in the laboratory did not slow down. More people from different worlds came to learn from Clara, Ryan, and the team. News about the Council's new way of thinking traveled to far places. On some planets, leaders held meetings to talk about what the humans and their friends had done. On others, scientists sent messages asking for advice about their own dangerous plants and animals. Every day, Clara saw more hope and curiosity in the halls of the Council. Ryan spent his mornings answering questions from other scientists. He taught them how to test small amounts of dangerous things safely. He always reminded them to work slowly, to write everything down, and never to take chances. Clara led meetings with new delegates who wanted to join the project. Some were shy and worried. Others were excited and wanted to start right away. Clara listened to each one and helped them feel welcome. The lab became busy and full of voices from many worlds. Mara, Joss, Bryn, and Lyra worked closely with Clara and Ryan. They found new ways to test the pain blocker from the Sylphus spider Venom. Lyra's plant root was now being tested by doctors in 2 different hospitals. Both projects were showing good results. The doctors sent messages that some patients had less pain and their wounds healed faster. It was still too early to call them cures, but everyone was hopeful. One day, Eldrin called Clara and Ryan to his office. The room was quiet, with big windows that looked out over the city. Eldrin smiled as they came in. "I want to thank you both," he said. "Your work has brought new life to the Council. There is still much to do, but you have started something that will not stop." Clara smiled. "We are happy to help. The best work is done together." Eldrin nodded. "There is a new problem, though. Some worlds are afraid of the changes. They are worried that if we use poisons for medicine, others might use them to harm." Ryan understood. "On Earth, we have rules and laws for dangerous things. We train our doctors and scientists and always watch for problems." Clara added, "Maybe we can write rules together. Each world could help make them. That way, everyone can trust the work." Eldrin agreed. "We will call a council meeting. I want you and your team to share your ideas for safe work." The next week, the council chamber was full again. Delegates from every world joined, either in person or on screens. Clara stood at the front with Ryan and the science team. Ryan spoke first. "Dangerous things must be respected. We must have strong rules to protect everyone. Only trained people should work with poisons. We must always share our results, good and bad, and help each other fix problems." Clara added, "No one should be forced to use a new medicine. It is always a choice. We should teach everyone the truth about what we are doing and why." Bryn explained how they tested each medicine again and again before giving it to a patient. Joss talked about how different worlds could visit the lab and watch the work. Lyra said that she wanted to bring the new ideas home, but promised to teach her people to be careful. Many delegates asked questions. Some worried about accidents. Others wanted to know who would decide if a new medicine was safe. Mara suggested making a special group with members from every world. This group would watch the projects, check the work, and share news with everyone. Eldrin liked this idea. He called for a vote. Almost everyone agreed. The council would make a new safety group, and every world could send a member. The group would have full access to all research and would decide when a project was ready to help people. The meeting ended with many smiles. Eldrin thanked Clara and Ryan in front of everyone. "Today you have shown us not just how to use danger for good, but how to do it safely. You have helped us trust each other." After the meeting, there was another celebration. People from every world shared music, food, and stories. Some sang songs about hope and change. Others told old legends in new ways, saying that maybe heroes were not just the strongest, but those who brought people together. Clara and Ryan walked outside into the cool night air. The 2 moons of Varlus hung low in the sky. The city was full of light, and music from the celebration floated on the breeze. Ryan looked at Clara. "Did you think it would go this far?" Clara shook her head. I hoped we could help a few people. I did not expect the whole council to change. Ryan laughed. I think that's how real change happens. One step at a time. They sat on a bench under a tree with blue leaves. Bryn and Mara joined them, bringing drinks from the party. Bryn smiled. On my world, we thought humans were weak. Now we see you are just different. You are brave in your own way, Clara smiled. Thank you, Bryn. We all have something to learn from each other, Mara said. This is only the start. We will have new problems, but also new friends. Later, Lyra came running up, out of breath but excited. I just got a message from my planet. They found a new plant in the mountains. It is very dangerous, but some people think it can help with sickness. They want us to study it together. Clara and Ryan promised to help. They all talked about plans for new tests and how they could teach more people to work safely. As the night grew late, the group grew quiet. Clara looked up at the sky, full of stars she did not know. She felt small but happy. She knew Earth was far away, but tonight she felt close to everyone on Varlus. She knew that trust was growing, not just in the council, but across many worlds. Ryan stood and stretched. Let's get some sleep. Tomorrow will be another big day, Clara agreed. She knew there would be more hard work, more fears to calm, and more hope to share. But now she felt sure that whatever happened, they would not be alone. The story of the humans who turned danger into hope was only beginning, and Clara looked forward to seeing where it would go next.